One of my favorite visual effects, especially when working with black and white images, is to add a little bit of grain or film grain back into the image. Typically in Photoshop, you would use something called the add noise filter on a separate layer and then play with blending modes and so forth. Camera Raw, especially in the new version of Photoshop, has made this much easier to accomplish. There's actually an effects panel over here on the right. We'll go ahead and click on the effects icon. And you'll see they've added this new grain effect. Now to see this in best results, we're going to go ahead and zoom up to 100%. I'll just do Command plus or Control plus a couple times, or 50% is fine, just enough to be able to see the grain pattern at a particular nice zoom level. Now what's nice about the grain effect too, you can see here we haven't done any retouching of her skin. And if we add some grain back in, it can actually lower the contrast of the acne issues that we're seeing here. So I'm going to take that amount slider and just really crank it up quite a bit. Let's start with an amount of 50. And you can see it's like using old standard film. Each brand of film in the old days, the film had a signature grain pattern. And so with these three sliders, you can actually recreate a lot of those different film patterns or grain patterns that you may have been used to if you used to shoot film. Of course, it just certainly has a lot of creative effect and power as well. So I can adjust the size of the grain and of course the roughness of the grain as well. So you really have a lot of creative control here. It's really no right or wrong setting, just depends on what effect you're trying to achieve. So I kind of like using a lower size and roughing it up a little bit and then making the amount just pretty high. Now if I zoom up a little bit more, let's go ahead and click the plus button here to 100%. You can see I'm getting a nice, really cool, noisy, gritty look. And I kind of like that. Again, this is all non-destructive. You can go back and change the values at any time. And then I'll give you kind of a bonus tip. I actually like combining this with a graduated filter effect to give something what some people call a high key glow effect, where the highlights are kind of glowy, but you still have this grittiness in the midtones and the shadows. So let's do that. Let's go back to Fit in Window by double-clicking on the hand tool. I'm going to switch to the graduated filter tool. And I'm going to take the clarity all the way down to -100. I'm just going to go ahead and drag down from the top, holding down the Shift key and dragging out a gradient all the way the length of the image. And you can see what that did is it really softened the highlights and smoothed them out and gave it kind of a nice glow effect. It really looks like the light is being diffused coming in here from the upper left-hand corner. I'll turn the overlay off so we don't see the little gradient drawing of the chrome there. We'll turn the preview checkbox off. Here's before and there's after. So again, just a nice way to add a nice subtle highlight key glow effect. And combined with the grain, the new feature in the effects panel there, you get some really interesting creative effects very quickly without a lot of work.